What's going on, folks? It's Javon Moore with fi360 News here live at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. We got a chance to see a great matchup today. USC ranked 25th in the country facing off against University of Texas. The last time UT and SC met was in the Rose Bowl. That win was eradicated, so guess what? USC never lost to Texas. So this really wasn't a revenge game in most people's mind. But to the Texas fans, they knew what happened on the field. We got a chance to see Mac Brown earlier on the pregame show. He had his ring on, he was smiling, but he hadn't won another title since then. But we're not going to talk about Mr. Brown today. We're going to go ahead and talk about the defenses of University of Southern California and the Texas Longhorn. Whenever you needed a play, the defenses stepped up. It was an exciting double overtime game. 27-24, the USC got the win today. Right here in this end zone just behind me is when they end up taking the lead on a nice catch by Deontay Burnett, one of those Sierra Cavaliers. You always hear about the Sierra Cavaliers, whether it's playing ball on college on Saturdays or in the pros on Sundays. Let's go ahead into the press conference. Let's hear from Sam Darnold and Coach Clay Helton for a brief moment, and we're going to come back and give you some more hard-hitting facts.
You know, haven't done it for a long time. I always feel like you're going to have one of these games when you're trying to win a championship, and that you're going to have to dig down deep and find a way to win. And credit this team, whether it was coming up with a big play right before the half, a 2-minute situation that doesn't happen all the time, to be able to go that far with no timeouts, and then defensively finding a way down on the goal line to get the ball out and put us in a situation where we can kick a field goal. You know, that's what great teams do. They're going to have one of these games, and they find a way to win. And I'm proud of our kids. I'm proud of our coaches for staying poised and keeping on fighting.
Well, we're back. If you could have been here at this game, it was almost sold out. They said it was over 82,000 fans in attendance. Like I said, we got a chance to see Vince Young on the sideline trying to give some extra magic to the Texas Longhorns, and it almost worked because Sam Darnold ended up throwing 2 interceptions to number 4, who was just all over the field, Mr. Deshaun. But his main target for the Texas Longhorns quarterback was a guy, Collins, on the outside, number 9. Big old 6'2", 215 receiver, just hawking balls out of the air. But the defense continued to bend, but it didn't break. Bend, and it didn't break. And the same went on for USC. They went ahead and relied a little more today on Sam Darnold's arm, and it ended up paying off in the end because he was able to make some amazing plays. They had that Hail Mary going upfield, and they don't always throw to the receiver in the back or the receiver short, but guess what? Ronald Jones was there. He then raced 56 yards to the end zone. They just had play after play after play. Now, credit to Texas defense, because in the beginning of the game, USC went for it in the red zone 2 times and got stopped cold. One time right on the 1-inch line. So when you telling me the game was a game, this was a game. The trenches is where you always find the game, and today that's where it was won and lost at. So let's go across the street. Earlier this morning, we got a chance to see the Memphis Tigers take on the UCLA Bruins. And guess what? Them Bruins gave up 48 points. They ended up losing today 48-45. They didn't have any more of that magic left over from the Texas A&M game. You can't give up 48 points and expect to win a game. You're asking a lot of Josh Rosen, who threw for 6 touchdowns today, but it just wasn't enough. They ended up losing by a field goal. At halftime, they were down by 3. Both teams matched each other's performance point by point in the third and the fourth quarter. But in the end, the Memphis Tigers knocked off the UCLA Bruins, like I said, 48-45. You can go ahead and look at the defense for UCLA and say, hey, they were missing 5 starters in the game. But at the end of the day, you got to play defense. It's got to be the next man up. So for those Bruins that did at least rush for 170 yards in the game for 4.9 yards a carry, which for them, if they could get that every game, it'd be astonishing. But right now, they weren't able to pull that off. They get a chance to come back over here to the West Coast, play back over here in Stanford. Big boy football. So if they don't get their act together, they could drop another one on the season. But we're just going to wait and see. So right now, USC gets a great gritty win today. UCLA in the dogfight ends up letting one go. So we got highs and lows from both sides of the city, whether you rep UCLA or you rep USC. So Southern California went 1 for 1 today. That's 500 ball. In my book, it's just like craps. Put your money on red, put your money on black. Somebody's going to win as long as it's not green. This is Javon Moore with FI360 News. Make it a great one, folks.